Okay, we're behind the scenes here at the Valley and Beyond. As you can tell right now, waiting for YouTube video to upload. But this is Michael Phoenix. Not that good in front of the camera, can be, but no point to it. But anyway, I'm doing this to kind of save some time here. So, after I had the privilege of attending the Latino Caucus Community Mixer over at the Days Inn, Days Inn Jetport Lounge here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Um, a few things that were said really got me, even a day later, had me really thinking about, the political candidates and the voters in a completely new area. Part one dealt with, as far as from the candidate end, is it even possible for a candidate to maintain a balance between, especially, in today's PC, you say hello to someone at times and you're going to piss them off world. Um, is it even possible for a candidate to maintain some kind of balance between their main demographics, no matter what, who you are, especially in areas of race, like race, culture, and please don't think I'm prejudiced or discrimination. It's just this was something that, really has my brain cranking on this. I'm not at all. I don't see things like race, culture. I see human beings. But anyway, and reaching to other demographics. I mean, even things like, okay, you have a candidate that's in their 50s or 60s. Okay, how are they going to reach the younger generation when, people who are 18 who just registered to vote, people in their 20s who just got out of college and are into tech jobs, the medical field, whatever. So this is across the board with demographics. Um, you know, how it is a serious challenge for a candidate to try to appeal to the broadest range of voters possible. I mean, especially here in Lehigh Valley, where you want to go along ethnicity and culture. This area has Latino, Black, White, Asian, Middle Eastern, to say the least. Okay, so now from the voter standpoint, I hit the kind of the candidates in part one, but from a voter standpoint, you know, everyone has things that are important to them. You know, right off, it's your everyday survival, keeping a roof over your head, keeping food for yourself and your family. And then you get into, things like trying to get ahead in your job or finding a new and better paying one. You got to have some fun in life. I'm sorry, it's just the reality of it. Take a vacation, things like that. Putting an end to crime and violence, etc., etc., and the list goes on and on. But here, so from the voter standpoint, you know, honestly, maybe it's time. I realize that you want to stick with your demographic, whatever it is, age, race, culture, uh, skill, your job, your career, whatever. But from a voter standpoint, you know what? Realize that any political candidate has a very hard job in trying to get, let me rephrase that, faces very tough challenges in trying to get that job, okay? Whether or not, so from a voter standpoint, I mean, like with myself, to use myself as an example, not the best by a long shot, but it is an example. Okay, I'm a 45-year-old Caucasian male trying to get a full-time paycheck. I'm an author. I have an online magazine. I'm the entire staff of an online magazine. Plus, to top everything else off, which makes me a real wild card, and people like me, I'm a registered independent voter who, you know, has very strong opinions in some areas. So, from my standpoint, I'm not looking at whether you're. I'm not, I don't look at the generalized areas of a candidate. What their skin, what their race is, what their culture is, what their education and background is. I look at who is the best person for the job. Period. I don't care about certain areas. Honestly, I don't. And maybe it's time for the voters to start realizing that in our society and technological virtual world that we live in, that maybe from the voter standpoint, to me, not necessarily make their job easier because it's our job to challenge them, but to try to forget about political parties. Honestly, forget about what race or skin color person is. And look at what really matters. Okay. Um, you know, Look at the aspects that really. Okay, what's their background? If they've been in office and running for re-election, did they do the job that we were paying them to do? If not, boom, see it gone. We're not renewing their contract. If they haven't been in office and they're a new candidate, um, what are their qualifications? I mean, look at it like you're the boss of a company, because realistically you are. What are their qualifications? Forget about the minor things and focus on what really matters to you, and even look beyond your individual self and what you think is best for your community. Uh, Whether it's the smallest town up to the largest cities. Look at what's best for your state. Look at what you believe is best for this country in this world. And, every candidate has, hopefully at least, if they know what they're doing, have any idea what they're doing, every candidate should say, okay, this is what I want to, I'm hoping to accomplish. Because they're, on each level. And if they don't have, and if you don't feel that they are the best person qualified for that job on every level, don't vote for them. Don't support them. Don't donate to them. Don't volunteer for them. Honestly, you know. But if, like in the presidential election, or once we get past the primaries, okay, if the candidate that you feel is best for the job didn't win them primaries, look at the candidates that did win, because you still have, the primaries are the application phase. Think of it this way: in the application resume phase of this process, of the hiring process. The main elections are the interview phase. So even if the candidate that you didn't think was best for the job won, don't just look at this, specifics. As far as, like I said, demographics come into play to a point, but, if the candidate isn't of your ethnic background, if the candidate isn't of your culture, if the candidate isn't, is twice your age, and, oh, wow, I want a I think a younger person could do the job. Look at to see if they're actually qualified based on several points, not just a few. So, hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully this article helps both sides out. I try to look at everything from both sides, as far as covering it from them for Valley and beyond, and also as a voter standpoint to help bridge that gap and between candidate and voter, and hopefully have things make a little more sense to you. Michael Phoenix, founder of the magazine, from the Super 8, behind the scenes here, to the people, and I say this every time, and you have no idea how much I mean it. To the people and businesses that financially sponsor the magazine, thank you so much, because without you, none of this could have happened. Never would have made it to almost the 3-year mark. To the people that check out the articles and support the magazines in other ways, thank you, because without you, there'd be no point in doing this at all. All right, take care, everybody. Weather's crazy with spring. The spring weather's been crazy here in Lehigh Valley, and I'm sure it's probably crazy in your area. Go out when it's warmer, enjoy it, but stay safe about it. Remember, we're kind of in cold and flu season now, so be careful, all right? Take care, stay safe in the night, and always. Later.